Okay, this here is one of our funner group projects. We made it the beginning of last year with our good friend Dale Morris. He, like I said, was a previous crew member that comes back every year, donates a workshop. So we all worked together designing this. The whole design took about 15 minutes to figure out as a group, so that was kind of exciting. Basically, it's got a lot of names. It's we call it a trellis because that's functional, and that's blacksmithing is a functional art. But really, it kind of falls into the realm of sculpture. It's some people, I don't know, we've called it a time machine. The great big homage to steel, who knows? But got a little bit of a planetary theme. Basically, this was kind of exciting because we worked as a group to make it, and a previous crew member, Dylan Flynn, that just graduated 2 years ago, he came back to help us work on it. Dale Morris, who's one of the first crew members on the blacksmith crew, came back to help work. So it was this exciting thing of experience of collaboration. We had brand new crew members, old crew members, historical crew members. So let's see, a lot of it was done cold. A lot of the outer ring was bent cold. This piece, the ends were flattened while hot, but the entire S shape here was done cold on outdoors. We have a little spike here, it runs into the ground. So we basically made a little model in the shop of this item and then worked together as a group to make the various parts. It was a good exercise in working together, good exercise in troubleshooting. This piece here, right here, was actually in the last, all the other pieces were made, and in the last 15 minutes this piece got burnt right in half. So that was kind of one of the big things you learn in blacksmithing, is that mistakes happen, and yeah, you have to know how to troubleshoot. So that was a good lesson in forge welding and attaching a new piece onto this, which has to do with heating a piece of metal up till it's just about to melt and then popping it together with another hot piece, and they actually become one piece of metal. So it was a fun experience in design, getting everything the right size here. We have some oil infused brass nuts or washers in between each piece so that it spins better. Basically, it was another project in learning how to work together on big structures. So it's a good experience. Everybody gets to learn to use their hammer arm a little more. We got to use the power hammer a lot, get better at that, and just think in bulk sizes. We have an enormous tenon here. It's kind of fun. Yeah, so, and another, I guess it dresses up the area, adds to Jensen. This has been a sort of a blank wall, so it needed something. So that was really I'd say its biggest functional value was about working as a group. Yeah, and it's about for the whole community to enjoy, come over and, I don't know. We wanted to make something that was a functional spinning item, so not just a stationary piece of decoration. Any other questions about that?
Whatever you want to share.
I don't know, let me, okay, well, there's a whole bunch of techniques that go into this. We have flaring here, where you learn to spread metal. We have copper work here, this is salvaged copper, and we get to learn about the different tempers, what kind of heats metal works at. Different kinds of metal work at different heats. With steel, you heat it up and you work it while it's hot. With copper, you heat it up, quench it in water, and it becomes soft for a couple hits, and then you work it until your hits are used up and you have to heat it up again. So it's kind of an interesting chemical process going on there that you learn depending on what kind of metal you're working with. Making concentric rings, welding them together, that's another tricky process in forge welding. Tenons have to do with being able to shape a large piece and then basically condense the end of it so that you can run it through this center piece here, this round piece here, and then hammer it down into a head. So there's a lot of skills that go into this, and it was a good experience for all the senior members and good introduction for new members coming onto the crew. Let's see. Another exercise in durability too. That's That's another key element in blacksmithing. You go for quality, you go for durability, you go for functionality. On our crew, you go for working together and producing quality materials relatively efficiently. That's another tricky one because it's a craft, so it takes a lot of learning, building up your hammer control over the years. It's probably the biggest thing I've learned on this crew, hammer control. Yeah, that's all I have to say.